Welcome to the Aetherdrift rules video. My name's Nelson.
I'm Serge.
We're here to introduce and explain the new and returning mechanics in the set.
We want to thank our friends at Judge Foundry for helping to sponsor this rules video. If you're interested in becoming a judge in the US or Canada, head to judgefoundry.org to sign up. Speed is a new mechanic that involves several interlocking small pieces. The first step is to control a permanent with start your engines. The first time this happens, your speed becomes 1. Once you have a speed of 1 or greater, there is a triggered ability that occurs whenever one or more opponents loses life during your turn. If so, your speed increases by 1, but this can only trigger once per turn. Once your speed reaches 4, you have reached max speed, and it can't go any higher. Pretty straightforward, right? Here's some of the nitty-gritty. Start your engines isn't a triggered ability. It's a state-based action that happens when you first gain control of a permanent with Start Your Engines. This includes gaining control of a permanent that another player controls. Because it's a state-based action, players won't have an opportunity to respond after the permanent has entered, but before your speed becomes 1. Each player tracks their speed separately. Increasing your speed has no effect on another player's speed. If an effect needs to know a player's speed, and that player doesn't have a speed, their speed is considered to be 0.
Exhaust is a new keyword ability that represents a special kind of activated ability that can only be activated once. Exhaust abilities can be activated anytime you could normally activate an ability. If an exhaust ability of a permanent is activated, and then the permanent leaves and then returns to the battlefield, it becomes a new object, so you can use the exhaust ability again. If an ability triggers whenever you activate an exhaust ability, that ability will resolve before the exhaust ability resolves.
Beloved mechanic cycling returns! Cycling allows you to pay a cost to discard the card with cycling from your hand to draw a new card. An elegant effect that has saved many draft decks. If you cycle a card with a cycling triggered ability, here's how the timing works. The triggered ability will always resolve first, and then you'll draw the card. Cycling and the related triggered abilities don't count as casting spells. Effects that interact with spells, such as Counterspell, won't affect them, but Stifle effects can. You can cycle a card even if it has a triggered ability with no legal target. This is because the cycling ability and the triggered ability are separate. This also means that if either ability is stifled, the other ability will still resolve.
Just because it's a race doesn't mean your ride has to be mechanical. Last seen in Outlaws of Thunder Junction, Saddle is back. Saddle End means tap any number of other untapped creatures you control with total power N or greater. This permanent becomes saddled until end of turn. Activate only as a sorcery. Saddled isn't an ability that a creature has, rather, it's just something that is true about that creature. It won't stop being saddled until the turn ends or it leaves the battlefield. Creatures with saddle can attack or block as normal even if they aren't saddled. Saddle abilities can be activated even if the creature is already saddled. That's it for the rules. Thanks again to Judge Foundry for sponsoring this video.
Thanks for watching.